One more question for the players. What would you say to those who question whether Sandy should be here next year to coach you guys again?
What the?
Sandy Brondello just got fired, the all-star coach from this year, alongside Cheryl Reeve, who's arguably one of the best coaches in the WNBA, of the New York Liberty, who just won a championship last year. Hello? And it's not even just me that's confused about it. If you look anywhere, you look at analysts, you look on Instagram, Twitter, even the players, no one knows what's going on. No one knows why this has happened. And it's not like Sandy Brondello is like an average coach. No, in my mind, Sandy Brondello is top 3, top 4, maybe, if it's like really coming down to that, coaches in the WNBA. Mind you, there are some coaches that I think should not have a job right now, especially not over Sandy Brondello, unless, no, there's no unless, because they didn't renew her contract. It's not like she asked to leave, unless there was something behind the scenes that we don't know about. But literally in the clip of Stewie and Sabrina being asked about, you know, the future of Sandy for the next year, they literally laughed the question off as if it was like super disrespectful and had no merit behind it. But apparently it did have merit behind it because she got fired.
One more question for the players. What would you say to those who question whether Sandy should be here next year to coach you guys again?
What the? I mean, to anybody that kind of questions Sandy being here, like, this is a resilient group, and she has our back and we have hers. And the way that she continued to kind of, I don't know, deal with the cards she was dealt, like, was incredible. It wasn't easy for anybody, but she came in every day with a positive attitude and a mindset to put us in our best positions possible and best foot forward. So, you know, there's a lot of us that could have done better this season, but we're still going to fight and show up for each other every single day, and I think that's what's the most important part. So we have Sandy's back.
Like I said, in my opinion, she's like top 3 coaches in the WNBA, or was, because she's gone. And I wish I had more information, like I wish more information had been released about it. But I mean, she has done so much for the organization. I know like one of the big reasons that they did not re-sign her contract was because of like underperformance, quote unquote. But with what she had to deal with this year, with the injuries, at one point, I think their roster had 12 or 13 injuries. That's also including like people that were out for the season or out for unknown reasons, but at one point there was 13 inactive players on that roster. Hello? I just don't understand why that was a thing. Like, they started off the season, how many games in a row did they win? Oh yeah, the Liberty started the season 9-0. Everyone thought that it was going to be them and the Lynx in the finals again. Like, that was the story for most of the beginning of the season until they started getting all of these injuries. I don't think that she underperformed. I mean, she had to deal with so many injuries, so much hardship this season, and the fact that they even came back to the way that they did at the end. Obviously, I think they should have beat the Mercury. I didn't think they were going to, but that's like, you know, I mean, it's the Liberty. Obviously, you're supposed to beat the Mercury, but you know, every single player except for Breannastewart dropped an egg of doom and destruction in that game. Jonquil Jones was like 1 for 1,000 in that game. Sabrina couldn't hit the side of a bar in that game. It was like down the line, and I'm not saying these are bad players, but in that specific game, they all looked like shit, except Breannastewart. And even in that situation, there was a lot of people saying that she was being a free throw merchant. And you know, we don't even have to come back to how a lot of people think that the Liberty were gifted their championship last year. They still won the championship, and Sandy Brondello was the coach for them last year. It's not like this was 5 years ago, 3 years ago. This was last year that they won this championship. She is clearly capable of coaching championships teams. She also, I think she, with the Mercury, I don't remember the year, I think 2014 she won a championship with them. So she is able to win championships. She has 2 under her belt. She's not a bad coach by any means. The Liberty have always been a top tier team in recent years, I'm saying. But I'm so confused by this because she also this year, literally this year, she became the 6th coach in WNBA history to get 300 wins. That happened in July of this year. She also won the Commissioner's Cup in 2023. She won Coach of the Year in 2014. She's not a bad coach. She's a great coach. She's an amazing coach. So there had to be something going on with her and like the GM or her and, you know, higher up personnel going on that obviously we don't know about, because for them to say she was underperforming kind of seems like an excuse, because Chris Koklanis is still alive and kicking. You could say the same thing about the Sun. They started the season horribly. That coach is still there. It's just so confusing to me. There had to be something else going on that they didn't like about the way Sandy was coaching, or maybe something was said, maybe something was done. The only acceptable replacement for Sandy is Sue Bird, Maya Moore, or Candace Parker. Any three of them, fine, I'll accept it. If you can bring Sue Bird out of retirement to be a coach, if you can bring Maya Moore wherever she is, because she always just disappears. She came out for Hall of Fame. We'll probably not see her again for 10 years. But if they get her to coach, fine. Candace Parker, if you get her to coach, fine. But I don't see anyone that can replace her as a coach. Like I said, top 3. I understand that they had expected a lot from her, but the injuries that she had to deal with this year, I don't think any of the games they lost had anything to do directly with her. Maybe I'll sit on it, maybe I'll read some more, maybe I'll find more information about what was going on behind the scenes. But it seemed like the players had an amazing relationship with her. The way, like I said, they talked about her in that press conference, it seemed like they had no idea she was leaving and had no want of her to be leaving. But I don't know, if more information comes out, I guess I'll make another video about it. But man, there's so many other coaches that I think are less qualified to have their jobs right now, especially compared to Sandy. And dude, I don't even know. I have no idea. Like, this to me is kind of crazy. Yeah, that's it. This is just ridiculous.